Part of the challenge here is that the education system has terrified girls and women and relentlessly pushed the idea that getting pregnant is the end of your life. Like your career is dead, you're be ostracized from society, and so when you instill terror in young girls that getting pregnant is the worst thing that could happen, they obviously they believe that if they're just kids, and so that is a deep-seated belief that they've been hit with in the educational system for a long time. Then the idea that they will not be able to get an abortion, even in extreme circumstances, is obviously a terrifying situation. And they will not vote for any candidate who might essentially who would stop them from getting an abortion, even in extreme circumstances. So this is the issue that we face. It's
I don't know why, but Elon just seems to be a polarizing figure, especially nowadays in this during an election cycle. But he was asked probably one of the hardest questions in politics, and probably not even the hardest question, but he's asked a hard question. He does something that politicians don't do. He sits back and actually gives an answer to the question, and honestly, in such a beautiful way. I know so many people get frustrated with Elon because he likes to take long pauses when he talks, but that is just, in my opinion, a wise man thinking about the words that he wants to choose and not just haphazardly speaking before he thinks, which is, I fall victim to that all the time. But this was a sweet question, assumingly asked by a sweet girl, and he asked, in my eyes, such a sweet way.
I'm just wondering if you would ever consider publicly supporting the pro-life movement.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously this is a contentious topic, if there ever was one. It is perhaps the most contentious topic. And to be clear out there, President Trump has been clear that he will veto a national abortion ban. He has said that because the Democrats have said that he will apply a national abortion ban, and that is causing a lot of sort of independent voters to actually not vote for Trump because they think that he will implement a national abortion ban. He has been very clear that he thinks it's a states' rights issue, and he will veto a national abortion ban. Now, there's no answer to this question that will not offend some number of people. But nonetheless, I will tell you what my opinion is, which will certainly offend some number of people. My opinion is that
Before he says that, I love the fact that he's self-aware enough, and still, even then, he's willing to take that risk and understand that he stands on free speech. And if he didn't answer that question, people would say that he's censoring himself and that he's a free speech absolutist. This is him literally standing by that. Whether you love him or hate him, at least respect him.
that if a baby can survive outside the womb, it cannot be aborted. It cannot. So if a baby can survive outside the womb, if it is far enough in gestation to survive outside the womb, at that point it is not abortion, it is murder. So obviously.
Yeah, I think most people is that. I know I'm gonna get fucking flamed in the comments, but my idea is once it has a heartbeat, then it can pretty much just stay outside of a womb, or given then, what is that, like 14, 15 weeks? Like, I think after that, I agree, it's murder. When it's still a clump of cells, then there's some wiggle room. Also, I have 3 rules, too, for RAPE, incest, and the life of the mother. I think those are also 3 justifiable reasons as well. That topic is so shitty, right? No one really likes talking about it. But we can't be afraid to talk about it. And also realize that the people who have their opinions, this isn't their whole identity, right? And oh my God, if it is your identity, if this topic is your identity, please go play some games. Throne and Liberty is really good. You like MMOs? Black Ops 6 is about to come out off the grid. If you're a crypto junkie like me, like, go get a hobby.
Part of the challenge here is that the education system has terrified girls and girls and women and relentlessly pushed the idea that getting pregnant can be is the end of your life. Like your career is dead, you're be ostracized from society, and so when you instill terror in young girls that getting pregnant is the worst thing that could happen, they obviously they believe that if they're just kids, and so that if that is a deep-seated belief that they've been hit with in the educational system for a long time, then the idea that they will not be able to get an abortion, even in extreme circumstances, is obviously a terrifying situation. And they will not vote for any candidate who might essentially who would stop them from getting an abortion, even in extreme circumstances. So this is the issue that we face. It's this relentless push in education, terrifying girls and women that if they get pregnant, their life's over. And the reality is there's nothing greater than having a kid. So I get more joy in my life from my kids than anything else. And that's generally true of all humans. In fact, if that is how we evolved. It is a very natural thing that you will love your children. So in fact, having a child will make you happier than anything else in your life ever. So.
Powerful words. Powerful words. I don't have kids, but I mean, being honest with you guys, I feel like once I secure enough of an income, Lauren and I are in a really good, stable position. Hopefully, we can secure and move on in the next point of our relationship in the next year or so. I know that falls solely on my shoulders, but shit's expensive, and I couldn't imagine she and I are. I don't want to say paycheck to paycheck because we're good. And I'm investing, so it's a completely different. We're in a completely different spot in our lives, but the way I love my dog, I can only imagine having a little kid. And the Elliot that's having this conversation is not even the same one who would have it 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was like, absolutely not. Now, kind of look forward to the idea. Kind of look forward sooner, hopefully, than later. And I do think kids are the most important thing of every community. They're the thing that's going to push that next generation, right? They're good, and ideally, I know there's some parents out there. I have some friends now who have this notion where they don't want their kid to be better than them, and to me that makes no sense. If I have a kid, I want him to be able to stand on top of my shoulders with and be able to provide all the opportunity I can and try to build a strong character, whether that's a young boy or a girl. I want them to be a strong individual who could think freely for themselves and who can have critical thinking and employ that in their day-to-day lives and have personal sovereignty. And going off on a rant here. Let me know what you guys think down below.